Hello YouTube, this is ChardarYuGiOh, and today we are playing some Eldlich Orcust for our YGO Omega daily duels. We get to go first. This hand seems pretty solid. We'll lead on Foolish Burial Goods. Dump Crescendo. Activate the effect of Crescendo. Grab Gursu. Normal Gursu. Effect. Opponent has Ash, that's annoying. Summon tokens. Activate Eldland. Okay, I think this works. Activate Eldland. Search Golden Lord. Set Conquistador. Set Cyclone. And pass the turn. Opponent, it looks like they're playing Phantom Knights, normal summons Torn Scales. Effect of Torn Scales. Pitches Seer. We're very okay with that. Dumps Ancient Cloak. Summons Psychic Wielder. Imagine they summon Sherbini. Summons IP. So if they summon Sherbini, I was going to Phantasme, try to draw into another hand trap, but now I think we're fine with this. Summons Bardiche. We will Phantasme here, draw some extra cards. So our opponent have Ash. They don't. Draw 2. Put back. I like these Eldland to survive. I want to keep both of these. But if we lose Eldland, we can't get back to Golden Lord. We'll put Scarlet back. We won't be able to use it next turn anyway. Effect of Bardiche. Dumps Ragged Gloves. Sets a Fogblade. Phantasme gives us some insurance against a Fogblade. Opponent activates Ancient Cloak. Searches Silent Boots. Opponent activates Torn Scales. Summons it back. Summons Silent Boots. Makes a break sword. Effective Bardiche, target Conquistador, sure. Greatsword target itself and our other back row. We will chain Cyclone. Get rid of our opponent's Fogblade. Brick Sword activates. Gets back Boots and Torn Scales as level 4s. Opponent's thinking. Not sure what they're thinking about. It's not. I don't think this deck plays that many level 4s, so I don't feel like our opponent has a lot of options. Used a whole minute so far. Alright, figured it out. Summons Raider's Knight. Detaches Boots. Gets Arc Rebellion. Effective Ragged Gloves. Dumps Phantom Knight's sword. Uses the sword, summons back Break Sword. Effective Rebellion, detach, pumps it up to about 11,000 attack, and we are very dead. Alright, so against Phantom Knights, don't have a lot for going first against this deck. Probably want Judgments. Cyclone seems good, maybe not going first. Our opponent doesn't do much with back row until their turn, so we take a turn, our opponent takes a turn, and then their back row is good, so maybe bring in Judgments, keep our opponent off of their Ixies. I like Phantasme against this deck because quite a few of their effects target. Ash seems okay. Most of their stuff pitches for cost. I'm not sure what else we want. Does Droplet do anything? Droplet saves us. If we'd have had a Droplet last turn, we could have negated their Arc Rebellion and that would have worked out. Alright, I think we'll run it like this. Opponent's still siding. I always feel like I take a long time to side, and then our opponent always takes even longer, it seems. Alright, we will go first. I also think on game 1, it might have been better to lead on Eldland, and then hope our opponent ashed that. Most players won't ash an Eldland. Alright, we will... World 1 in hand is awkward. Activate Prosperity, banish 3. Get rid of a Dingirsu, a Galatea, and Vampire Sucker. That's not fantastic. Guess we add goods. Put the other two back. Normal Girsu. Effective Girsu. Opponent does not have an Ash this time. I think we just dump anything we want to dump. Probably Nightmare. Opponent activates Lancia. Well, most of our plans are not working out. Plan here was banish Nightmare, dump something, summon a token, make Galatea, put the one back, get not Crescendo, return, use return to discard the world one and try to draw out of this. At this point though, I think we just summon tokens. If our opponent's playing Burning Abyss, then giving them a token might possibly be relevant. Summon a Link Karibo, summon a Galatea, summon Dingirsu in defense position. Do we want to send our opponent's token? Like, if they have just Burning Abyss cards in hand, the token's good, but that seems unlikely. Yeah, we will activate Dingirsu, send the token, set Droplet. We have very good discards for Droplet, and pass the turn. So Lanthea seems pretty strong against our deck. Opponent draws, has Tour Guide. So yeah, letting our opponent keep the token wouldn't have done anything for us. We'll let this go. Gets a Graph. Gets Cherubini. Effect a Graph. Gets Seer. Dumps Ancient Cloak. Summons Bardiche. Activates Seer. Gets back Cherubini. Effect of Bardiche. Dumps Torn Scales. Sets a Fogblade. Effect of Ancient Cloak. Gets Boots. Effect of Torn Scales. Breaks itself back. Summon Silent Boots. Summons Break Sword. We will not use the effect of Dingirsu, prevent destruction. Chain, Droplet, Pitch, Wand, negate the Break Sword. Opponent's thinking they have to be playing Nightmare Unicorn, which does get through Dingirsu. Still have Boots in hand, so they can get to a Link 4. Opponent has lots of options. Goes with Nightmare Unicorn. Effective Unicorn discards Wheelater. So even if we did negate the tour guide back at the start of this turn, our opponent still had another extender. Hits us for 22, hits us for 21. Not playing around Gores. Opponent passes. We draw YGO. Normal symbol skeleton. Opponent has another Lancia, and I think that's just the game. So we can set the YGO, maybe kind of sort of keep ourselves alive. Foolish Burial Goods doesn't do anything. Our opponent, yeah, Crescendo has to banish. All our Eldlich cards have to banish. Pass the turn. Now opponent hits us for 1,021, leaves us with 600. We do have YGO, maybe stop and attack. Opponent draws. Activates Bardish. Dumps Ancient Cloak. Sets rank up Magic Force. Effective Ancient Cloak. Grabs Silent Boots. Effective Torn Scales. Summons Torn Scales. Summons Silent Boots, both in defense. Summons Break Sword. Targets the YGO, and we will concede. Well, our hand was not very good. We drew the World Wand. Our opponent had the Lancias. I don't think there was anything we could have done this game. Game 1, I think leading on Eldland probably would have been better. Our opponent probably would not have ashed the Eldland, but we should have given them the option to make sure our Gursu resolved. So that was probably a small mistake. This game, I don't think we were doing anything this game. We cannot play through a Lancia. Well, GG opponent.